Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Calvin, We the Species. I love that thing recording in progress. I'm not sure if it's a real voice or an AI voice. I don't know, but I'm so used to it. This is such a special series for me. I love doing this. I've now done it every year for the last few years in conjunction with the Garden State Film Festival, which is happening next Thursday, actually, here in Asbury Park, New Jersey, in Cranford. I love that. I love everything about film. As you all know, film has completely changed my life around beyond the stuff while I'm writing books because of film and what Casablanca did to me. And I actually have to apologize to Wendy and Lauren because I've been chewing their ear off because I was so excited when their information came to me and their film came to me that we're going to talk about called My Dead Mom, and reading the premise and watching the trailer and stuff, the light bulbs went off in my head. Well, shoot, my dead mom came out and talked to me too, which we talked about for the last half hour. And that was semi-serious, but it made me think of their work and to tell them that that stuff happens anyway. At least it happened to me, and so powerfully that I actually wrote Pope Leo some months ago, bullet pointing these wonderful things that happened in real life to me. They're wonderful spiritual things. And so, anyway, we've been talking for a long time.
Happy to send him links to the series if he wants to see it too.
Yeah, hey, yes, 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 yes. So, Lauren is executive producer and the creative writer is Wendy, and they're both here. And this monologue, which I used to call my Johnny Carson monologue, because not a lot of humor here, but love Johnny Carson, is now concluded. Again, I'm just so thrilled, you're here, and kind of made my day to
Oh, we're so happy to
chat.
be here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Thank
why
you.
don't you do a little intro, little background stuff, and then we'll get started talking about my dead mom, etc.
Go
Take it
for it,
away.
Lauren.
So, yeah, I mean, we're really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. We always love to chat about our projects and introduce it to new audiences. So, this is really exciting. Um, and yeah, so Wendy and I, this is the second project that we've worked on together. We met originally in law school, as you do, and then quickly decided that maybe that wasn't the path for us. So now we've worked on two series together, both of which have been nominated for international Emmy Awards. So it's been really exciting, and it's been awesome working with Wendy on these projects.
We're so blessed.
Wendy, a little
Oh, do you want me
background.
to go? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The same. I never imagined getting to be a comedy writer. I felt like it was like wanting to be an astronaut. I feel like when I told my mom I wanted to write comedy, she was like, "No, you're going to be a lawyer and you can write about law." And she was sort of right because the lead in our series, Emmy, is a lawyer. So. Yeah, it feels so gratifying to be able to do this work and to get to do it with one of your best friends is just such a wonderful, incredible experience.
Good, 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 good. By the way, I might as well show folks. I just generated this little coming attractions poster um, with Wendy and Lauren. I showed them that. So let's talk about my dead mom. And again, it really, it resonates with me powerfully because my dead mom came out of a picture and typed some stuff for me, and that is inexplicable. So, let's talk about this thing. My dead mom is both personal and funny. Um, what first inspired you to do this story? And you guys can just take it from.
Yeah, after my mom passed away, people would always tell me that they heard her, they saw her, and I really didn't. And I was so like disappointed that I hadn't really I didn't see her. And then one day I was really sick and she like came to me sort of in a fever dream and was like, "Okay, let's go." And I thought that was it just was so my mother that like most parents are like, I will lay down my life for you. And my mom, I could just imagine being like, if I'm dead, you're dead. Like that's it. You're done now. If I don't exist, you don't exist. And that just made me laugh so hard that like people talk about seeing the light and like a parent coming when they're like ready to die. And like I had a bladder, like a urinary tract infection. And that's what like spurred my mom to come and be like, okay, it's time. And so I just sort of ran with that and realized like I do hear my mother all the time. I hear her commentary all the time. I feel like I can hear her critiquing me, just what I'm wearing, what I do, what I say. Like even death hasn't stopped her from being so judgmental. And so I was just excited to bring that to the screen and I don't want to say the hopes that other people experience that too from their dead relatives, but in a way that makes us still feel connected and the relationship still goes on.
And it does. And it does. And it's powerful. Again, I'm just using why your film is powerful on a serious level and on a comedic level because I lived it, and when my mother typed on my cell phone, Mom, next day I got a haircut because she always hated my hair forever. Hated my
So
hair.
did mine. My mom thought my curls were like a genetic deformity. She used to
See, there you go.
brush them.
But it was so real. It is so real, and they got a screen print to show people and stuff. It's powerful stuff.
I know it's unbelievable how present they can be in our lives, even though they've passed away. It's so remarkable.
Well, no, it's funny. My wife goes to the cemetery all the time, and actually, there's an interesting family because all our parents are buried together in one little thing, which is great. It's one-stop shopping kind of deal. And I always refuse to go. And my wife gets so upset with me. You're not coming with me because they're not there.
My mom always said that too. She said, "Don't come and visit. I'm not there."
Yeah,
So I
that's so
understand that
funny.
totally.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
We
there.
even have that line in the show.
Yeah.
Really, do you?
Yep.
Wow,
So as I'm,
wow,
yeah,
that's so funny.
So she's
yeah,
looking at the grave, and her brother says, like, she's not there.
not there.
Not there. It's not
Yeah.
there. It's just I did with all my spirituality, long story, but I did a session with a clairvoyant. And actually, we did a quid pro quo. I interviewed her for conversation with Calvin, and she did a 70 minute thing with me. And wow, did she nail stuff about me? You know,
Wow.
I know people use glittering generalities. You go to one of these healers and these seers, and they say, "You can have a bad day next week." And I say, "Well, everybody on Earth has a bad day next week. It's nothing." But anyway, she went on to tell me I'm 1,200 years old. I said, you keep coming back. I said, well, that's nice to know, that's nice to know. Okay, moving on. The title alone, My Dead Mom, signals a willingness to confront grief head on. Why did, the comedy feel right away that this was a way that you should go to confront a really serious subject, Why did
Comedy's
you want?
always, it's just always been the way my family has coped. It feels like a love letter to my mother to be able to laugh about her death. It's just the way we've always confronted hardship in our life. And my mother was, I mean, till her dying breath, she was hilarious. Like she was even funnier when she had cancer. It was always just the way we were able to get through. We were always like that family that was like, if you don't laugh, you cry. And I always feel like it's so easy to make people cry over a serious subject, but to make people be able to find the laughter in it. And that there's so much humanity in that speaks to me and is so powerful. The last series that Laura and I did too was a comedy about infertility. So I feel like this has become our brand of our brand of like being able to do comedy with heart. Do you think so, Lauren?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really special to be able to make comedic subject matter about a very serious topic because so many people struggle and suffer through it. And, if you can laugh, then it brings a little bit of levity to it. And I think part of that comes from recognizing you're not the only person going through this. There are other people who are struggling with the same things that you are.
Well, you said a magic word there, infertility, because I never touched on that, but a chunk of my tortoise book deals with that.
Oh,
Because,
wow.
yeah, my wife and I went through that.
Oh,
Heavy, serious, comedic stuff. And actually, it's a big part of my book because from 10 years old, I needed to be a parent. I wanted to be somebody's father to, and I used to meditate on this jetty. That's the cover of my book. That's a real picture I took. And by
wow.
the time I was 10 years old, it's a Shark River jetty, about 10 miles down from Asbury Park where they're having the Garden State Film Festival. And 15 years ago, I was there and I just saw my sneaker, against the ocean. But a big chunk of that book is part of my journey that we've gone through all kinds of infertility stuff,
Hmm.
operations and in vitro and
So
uh,
yes.
oh, I sure, boy, do I know.
Yeah.
And there's some really funny things
Well,
that I did
send
in
you. Yeah.
desperation.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that now, but that was a
Yeah.
buzzword. Anyway, it ended really nicely because we adopted our son when he was a day old,
Oh, wow. My sons are adopted as well.
but more bonding for us.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
nothing in the world like it.
We're mishpacha now.
Yep, yep, yep. And it's funny, we are, and it's so funny because um, I keep showing books, but this book was written because Kay Wagner read my book and said, "Yeah, Calvin, you work for World's Wealthiest Italian to learn stuff." And the next book up is 10 Things to Learn About Adoption.
Wow.
Because
Huh.
my journey and the things that I did, some of the stuff I did,
Crazy.
very funny. Not
Yeah,
funny, but very funny.
that's
'Cause,
exactly. So we
yeah.
tackle that in our first series called How to Buy a Baby.
Was that
Um,
right? Oh,
yes,
wow.
tackles infertility and adoption as well. I
Because we
think from the same tone.
Oh wow, we have to talk about that too. I want to come back and talk about that because
Yeah, we'd love to.
my son and daughter-in-law and my two grandchildren live
Oh,
a mile away. Talk
oh,
about
lovely.
Yeah, actually, we're having a sleepover. We do sleepovers every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They want to go out to dinner. The kids come here. They're going to be 5 and 4,
Oh,
and it's
amazing.
the
Can
most
my kids come
wonderful.
too?
Yep, it's just
Yeah, same.
sure. It's just wonderful, but we're all born out of how to buy a baby kind of thing. Okay, moving on. I don't know if we'll ever finish this because the stuff that's coming out here, it's great, great stuff. I kind of sensed it would be. Um, so what would you like people to take away after they finish watching My
I
Dead
think
Mom?
that grief isn't linear. I feel like people talk about the first year after someone dies, and then after that, they might not say it out loud, but there's sort of this sense of like you're not over it yet. So I very specifically wanted to start this story that was like 3 years after she had lost her mom, and she's still in those like raw like a spiraling space of, oh my God, my mom's dead. And I feel like I still feel that like it's been like a decade, well, more than a decade for me. And I still like I'm at the point now where I realize that my mom's been dead longer than I had a mother. And I still feel like sometimes I want to like scream like my mom's dead. Like how are you all doing this? How is life going on? And so I wanted to show that it's not really just the 5 stages. The stages start again, and it's sort of something that you like cope with and deal with over the course of your life. And speaking to the humor of it, I wanted to show that like it's a valid way to cope, that it's okay. It's okay to feel like you want to laugh about it. And that's a valid way of getting through.
You see me writing. I may be one of the few interviewers in the North American continent who takes notes while he's interviewing. So be it. It is what it is. I take notes because it's important. I like to capture essences because I write this stuff up. But anyway, I'm taking
Oh,
notes.
that's lovely.
Yeah. So, Lauren, when you first encountered the project, what made you, you're a producer, so what made you want to kind of champion this project as a producer? Because it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Wendy and I mean, this is a project that Wendy and I sort of started talking about when we were working on How to Buy a Baby. And Wendy kept making different references to what the kind of story that she wanted to tell. And, um, after we worked together on How to Buy a Baby, I fell in love with Wendy's writing. And you know, as a producer, you get to work with so many creatives and it's so amazing. But the one thing is, when I read a script that Wendy wrote, like, I know it's a Wendy script. Like, she has a flavor to her writing that is just so special. So I was really excited to work with her again. And frankly, anything she wants to do, I'm there for. So,
The cry.
but this one, like this one in particular, like, as she was telling me about it, I could envision what she was trying to do with it, and I was really excited to work with her on it.
It's so hard as a creative to have somebody who like believes in your story and wants to champion it as much as you do. And like what a blessing to get to work with somebody who sees who gets your humor and gets your writing and is a force.
Oh,
That is
thanks.
special. Really, there's always stories of great collaborations in the industry. They're time immemorial. These kind of collaborations. Sometimes people so uniquely different, but they bring such energies and stuff. Thinking of composers and stuff. No difference. It's creativity and stories and stuff that you bring together. Hey, it's so much. For me, even sitting here with you all, and is a discovery of that so many things that are important to you are important to me, and things that resonated with you is resonated with me. The mom and how to buy a baby. That just blew me away. It really did. And of course, all this is meant to be. Duh. It's all meant to be. It's all part of the journey. These are ingredients in the journey. So I can't not comment about this because it's innervated me. With some of this stuff, especially now that the How to Buy a Baby, my head is spinning. I got to concentrate on what I'm here to do. Because I'm drifting away now. I have to reel myself in because I'm exuberant about this because yeah, I sat down with my son and my wife said, the next book I want to write sooner, is about the whole how to buy a baby. Not
Please do. We need more. We need so
you
many more
really
narratives,
do,
especially from the male perspective.
truly. And funny, I was the proponent. I was the proponent. I needed not my wife. She's really happy to go through life as we are because nothing was happening. And I said I can't. So kind of heading, we were kind of heading it was kind of like the movie um, um, with oh gosh, I'm trying to not East of Eden, the other James Dean movie, Rebel Without a Cause. You're heading to a cliff, and who jumps off first, and we were heading to a cliff.
Yeah.
But that got fixed. It got anyway. Um, so to remind everybody, my dead mom. Okay. I like to remind everybody. So the show it captures strange, sometimes very absurd moments, and I've seen the trailer. Some of that is absurd. Uh, um, that come with loss, and everybody deals with loss differently. How did you find a balance between like emotional truth, powerful stuff, and humor? That's a tough thing to.
I don't know, they're intertwined to me. I feel like if I just speak my truth or what I'm thinking, I just always hope there's somebody on the other end that's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe somebody else feels that way." And so like I just try and write what feels so true to me. And I think some of that naturally has humor, it just has a lens of humor. So they feel quite intertwined to me.
Okay. A little off topic. To take a little breath and a little off topic. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. Um, Here goes to both. Excluding family or friends, somebody living or dead you'd like to spend, excluding family or friends, somebody living or dead you'd like to spend the day with, and it could be a couple. There's no rules here. You
Oh,
can start, Wendy, and it's a great question. Thank you, Barbara.
um, Madeline Albright.
Wow.
I have just always been, I don't know, I've always just been just somebody that I always looked up to, and I think about what she's been able to achieve in this, like, before women really had the power that, like, that they do now, in a time um when women weren't seen as necessarily equal in what she's been able to achieve and do. And just reading her, and she's so funny, like reading one of her books where she talks about being at like Camp David with Yasser Arafat. um it's so, she describes such a funny scene of him like cannonballing into the water, and just the mundanity of like these moments to moments while they're trying to negotiate the hardest thing in the world, which is like peace in the Middle East. And I was honestly just so inspired that I'm like, if you can make that funny, I was really, I was really blown away. Like, just, yeah, about her describing that with Rabin. And I just think she's just such a phenomenal force. And also found out about having a like a Jewish connection later in
Correct.
life, and
Correct.
having family
Which
that,
which was buried. Which
yeah,
was buried.
yeah, and having to face that like that generational trauma
Yeah.
later in life, I found so profoundly interesting. So, and she's got great brooches. So yeah, Madeline.
Okay. Okay. Lauren?
I'm still thinking. I'm like, I have no idea.
That's fine. There's no this. We can kind of we'll move on. Um,
Okay.
I also like to ask this. It's broad. Do you have some favorite movies, growing up, and things that inspired you that you keep watching? Like I keep watching Casablanca to get uh, motivated. Any,
Achieve something, Lauren.
I mean,
I mean, these are
I
loaded
think
questions.
the earliest movies that I really enjoyed watching, like I really enjoyed watching like romantic comedies. I mean, the first movie that ever really, really stuck with me was E.T.
You know, I haven't
That
seen it.
was never?
No, I haven't seen it. I know. It's I had to I have to watch it. It's ridiculous. I know.
Yes, you
Anyway,
have to
sorry, I
watch
totally
it.
interrupted you.
No, no, it's all good. And I mean, yeah, like earlier movies that stuck with me were movies like Dirty Dancing. Like that was
I mean,
I know, right?
there's some
So,
better.
um yeah, probably I guess those are probably on the lighter side.
That's
And
fine.
people are
No,
like,
that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. It's
So,
funny. You
those
said
are some of the
rom-com. I the other night, I guess to prepare for the Academy Awards, uh, AMC was doing so they showed they've been showing a lot of old movies, and I watched a chunk of it happen one night. One of the great historic from 1939 movies with Clark Gable, um, and I want to say Merle Oberon, no, but it was Claudette Colbert. There was some unremarkable scenes in that movie. It is timeless. So one of the great comedies, romantic comedies of all time, is It Happened One Night. And your assignment is over the next 6 months, go watch it. Great, and how they did it, just brilliant. Not a big budget, but just some of the symbolism that they did is just it's wonderful filmmaking. Anyway, moving on. So Wendy, there are moments in the writing um, when something unexpected actually became, and I love this, when something unexpected became one of the funniest parts in the movie. Did that happen?
I feel like that's life. Always. Like that just feels like art imitating life to me. I always feel like unexpected moments become the A plot in your life. Become the story of your life. Um, it always sort of, I feel like life always has those twists naturally that I think take over. Things, I
Okay.
mean, it's the whole like life is what happens when you're making other plans of it all. Um, I just feel like that feels so true. So true.
Okay. Uh, Hey, in making a comedy, what are some of the biggest problems in producing a comedy that deals with something so personal and powerful as grief? It's got to be a big challenge.
I mean, there's always the people that say like when we were first trying to write when I a comedy about infertility, the answer was always like people don't want to laugh at this. But it's always people that haven't experienced it. It's always this assumption that people aren't going to want to laugh at it. And I think that's not true. I think people who are actually like experiencing it, like there are people that are already finding the humor in it or want that relief, and want to be able to laugh at it. And I think that's a way of honoring their experience and their point of view as well.
Okay, okay. Um, so the series focuses on navigating adulthood, which you do after losing a parent. Um, what aspect of that particular journey felt most important to portray authentically? Because
That's such a good question. I tell this story a lot, but when my mother died, her doctor said to me, like, um, um, your relationship didn't end, it just changed. And
wow.
at the time I was like, no, like she's dead. It's pretty definitively over. But then it's when I did like feel her sort of like visit me in a dream and then hear her voice, I realized like that was so true. Like our relationship was still ongoing. And so that's what I wanted to show was this relationship that's still ongoing. But what I find so interesting about it is that my mother died when I was 23, and I hear her talking to me as a 23-year-old. Like she doesn't know me. She doesn't know me as as a writer. She doesn't know me as a mother. She doesn't know me as a woman. And so I'll hear her, and what she's saying to me is so what she would say to me like when I was like 18 and I want to be like mom like I'm a whole person now like I'm a person like I've written a show like I have kids of my own and it's just the relationship how does the relationship grow and change when it was stunted at a certain time and how do you still maintain that closeness to a person that passed who feels so immediate but is immediate to a person you used to be.
Okay. Okay. As this has been moving along, so what kind of reactions you've gotten from viewers who who've gone through similar experiences? I told you mine without having just sort of trailer, but what kind of reactions have you gotten?
We're so lucky to to have such an amazing audience and there's nothing it's gonna make me cry. There's nothing more moving to me than when somebody reaches out and writes like oh my God, this meant something or I was in a moment of grief and this touched me like or it made me laugh or so like you write things in a vacuum and you feel like you're the only one experiencing it and you put it out into the universe like saying like this and just when people respond and are like yes I felt that way it means everything it's so the power of knowing you're not alone I think is the basis for everything um it feels like such an extraordinary experience when you're living it and then you realize it's something everybody it's not extraordinary it's so like so completely ordinary in its tragedy and how everybody is experiencing it and finding that connection to people feels so meaningful to me that never gets old. I don't know, Lauren, if you might have a better answer.
No, I totally agree. I mean, it's really special like when people reach out and what you've created has resonated with them. Um, so yeah, I think that's
So
definitely the best part.
it's been such a vehicle to get to hear about other people's moms, like getting to hear about your mom and other people's moms, and I love it. I love getting to hear everybody's mom stories. I just It's such a delight.
I know, but now when I look at my kids, I'm like, what are you going to say
What
about
are you going to
me?
say about me? I know, right?
What trauma am I putting you through
What are
unintentionally? I'm
you going to say?
sorry.
Funny,
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, don't remember this.
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I wrote this down, the power of not being alone. That's magnificent what you said. And I wrote it down on my little notes. It's a powerful, I love that. Our culture historically kind of avoids talking about death. We know that. Uh, do you feel like storytelling, especially comedy, can begin to open up those kind of conversations?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. My mom talks about death all the time. It was one of her favorite subjects. So when she was like diagnosed, it didn't even feel like it came out of nowhere. Like she was constantly. So I don't know, it just normalized it. It just normalized it as a part of life for me and makes it just I don't know, easier to talk about. Um I remember there was I really, my mother loved Irma Bombeck, the writer Irma Bombeck, and so
Yeah.
we had a lot of her books at home. And then I remember when before she passed away, she had this essay that was like, I wish I like had let my kids sit on the good couch. Like I wish I had like all
Wow.
these. She had this like really powerful thing of all the things she wished she hadn't wasted her time doing. And that really, I don't know, that always felt really like profound and important to me that like we not waste our time being scared of death. Um, and being able to like do it like and if you are, I think like you might not do some of those joyous things that like not to be scared of the bad stuff. So that you avoid, sitting on the good couch.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm an octogenarian now, and I find that really hard to process. Um, um, and it's in every day. There's another uh, aspect of being an octogenarian. There's probably a comedy there.
I'm
Duh.
sure.
Duh. Because there is a comedy. Because I mean, I deal with all that stuff every day, and I try to compartmentalize it. I know I grew up on the street. I had five friends, middle of the street in Newark, New Jersey, and all five of those friends are gone.
It's so hard.
And not that we're not talking about people being nonagenarians. Nobody's in their 90s, they're gone because it's supposed to happen. But they were gone sometimes a bunch of years ago. And it's just hard to process that, all of that. And now that I get these stupid reels. This is a comedic thing. These stupid reels, because I look at reels every morning to kind of wake up, and these stupid reels are playing some stupid song, and they have all these celebrities coming back, sitting with themselves. So you could have you could have Peter Falk just sitting, and then at a point or earlier, and then he comes back and he's with himself, but he has stupid wings, angelic wings,
Those
and
damn reels with that damn music that gets you.
yeah, horrible,
Horrible.
and horrible, and AI just fixes them up, better
I
than an
know.
undertaker can fix somebody up. I mean, there's some real great comedy there.
Yeah.
Uh, and anyway,
We got to get your algorithm getting you dog videos.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dogs
yeah.
making friends with otters.
Uh, by the way, dogs have some powerful, well, going off topic, some powerful senses to see things that we don't see and feel. You can
Oh,
ask me
yeah.
about that sometime off camera. Boom. Oh, okay. You got your second international Emmy nomination you received. Your first one was for How to Buy a Baby. Um, what's it like? And I have a little bit of a taste of that. What's it like to get recognized like that? That's huge.
Go for it, Lauren.
It is huge. Yeah, it is huge. I mean, the thing is, like, for feature films, there's the Oscars. For television series, there's the Emmys. So, like, it's kind of the apex of the awards that you could be nominated for. And, I've been lucky to participate as a judge or on the jury for the international Emmys, and you see how difficult it is to be nominated. The quality of content, the number of shows that are being submitted. So to like actually break through and get a nomination is just so unbelievable. And to know that you're making content that's resonating with people around the world, like
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is. I got 10 awards for my book, and I pinch myself. Man, uh, where? I mean, it's a great feeling, and every
It
time
is.
I get an award, I celebrate with a bunch of chocolate chip cookies. It gives me reason to eat chocolate chip cookies.
Love it.
You know,
Nice.
That's reason enough to write.
correct. And by the way, that's if I get an award, I have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe more chocolate chip cookies. And I'm on this journey. People like to find the best wave, and they go to Australia and New Zealand and Thailand trying to find the best wave. I just want to find the best chocolate chip cookie. Boom.
Love it.
Okay. So, what makes something funny to you? A kind of an abstract question. Um, I mean, obviously, your mom coming back and kind of telling you what to get, what to wear and stuff. That's funny stuff.
I don't know. I love to laugh. Like I just love it. So I don't know anything that makes me
Okay.
laugh. They talk about some like in the some people talk about sometimes the business like people that have been in comedy for so long they don't laugh anymore. They just say, "Oh, that's funny." But like I don't know, I haven't experienced that yet. I still find things so laugh out loud funny. That just bring me so much joy and lighten whatever the load is on my heart.
What's
Yeah.
the hardest
I,
thing? Go ahead. Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I, in terms of the comedy, like, I love comedy that touches on the absurdity of everyday situations. Things that you might take for granted, but like that when somebody else does, you're like, oh my, I can so relate to that. I thought that was just me. So I particularly love that.
Great word. I love, in my own way, dealing with absurdity. I love it. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
took I took an I took an absurd element and stuck it into my book because I'm a bit of an environmentalist, and climate person, and the scene is the last person left on Earth. Everybody's gone, and there's a gigantic tidal wave about to wash that person out to sea, gone, and that's it. It's over. And he yells out, I still don't believe in climate change.
right.
Pure absurdity, but it's powerful stuff. Um, what's the hardest thing about writing comedy? Because I'm not a comedy writer. I can't imagine.
I don't know. I know this is crazy, but I try not to think of the audience when I write. Like I try and just think about what speaks to me. And I try and not think about how it's going to be received. And then of course you're ready to put it out into the world and then of course there's always the fear of like what if people don't think it's funny? Also like a lot of the things I write are sort of based on things that I've experienced in real life. So sort of like having my dad watch an episode where it's about, a Rosh Hashanah dinner with an actor who's essentially, playing a version of my dad is always, they didn't sign up for this. So that's always a difficult part of the process is, yeah, having the people that you've written about watch the show.
Yep, yep, yep. Last thing, you know what? I could sequester you like you're a jury and sit and talk for hours, and I won't. And we've almost talked for hours, not quite. Was there a joke or scene that you were really worried about that you didn't think it might be too much, not necessarily funny, it might be too much, but audiences actually loved it? Has that happened?
Um, I feel like that always just feels like generally true. Like just there's always a fear, like, what if I just feel this way and it doesn't resonate, and I'm always surprised. It felt particularly meaningful to write like an episode about Rosh Hashanah. And of course there's always just like a worry that you're representing your culture, you're representing your family, and there's always a little bit of there's always a worry that you're giving it the honor that it's due.
Okay. Well, perfect place to conclude. Maybe chapter one. That was a great movie, Neil Simon. Chapter one, chapter two. Great stuff. I liked his comedy. Loved his comedy. Prisoner Second Avenue. I could watch that again and again. The Out of Towners. Great stuff. Anyway,
Amazing.
thank you so
So
much.
much. And where can I get a
Thank
copy
you.
of the book? How do
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
Oh,
Okay,
sure.
Okay.
amazing.
It's on Amazon, and hey, listen, I'd love people to I'd love people to read it, and it's powerful stuff. There's a lot of fodder there, FODDER, fodder for to
Love
explore.
it.
No, I've actually had
Love fodder.
three people say to me, one is a documentarian, said, Kevin, your life's a documentary. I said, what, are you kidding me? And it's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, that wonderful short story that became this amazing movie. Actually, it was a short story written by a guy named Philip Van Doren Stern, who went to Rutgers. Nobody knows that. It's
Huh.
1930. He writes It's a Wonderful Life. Nobody wanted to publish it.
Wow.
So he did something I never knew you could do back in 1930. He self-published.
Wow.
Hmm.
But
Amazing.
so I look at my life. It's been a wonderful life. It is a wonderful life, and there's so many elements. That's why I wrote the Pope. So and most of it is in that tortoise book. I'm always happy to talk about that and stuff and sure. Listen, I loved what I saw from my dead mom. It's great stuff, and the relatability. We've talked about that. I'm so aboard. Uh, I'm just going to stop recording. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Really,
so
thank you so
much.
much.
A joy to speak with you.
Yeah, truly a joy. And I didn't want to kind of let you guys go, but we'll come back because I sit in this chair 12 hours a day. Here's my violin, and I'm playing my violin. I get lonely and stuff, so come back. But thank you, and I only wish you good things.
Thank you so
Same
much.
to you.
You as
Thank you.
well.
All right, I'm going to
Thank
stop
you.
recording. Don't leave. We'll do a 2-minute wrap.
Okay.